Listen to reason. The flesh and blood gods and goddesses, the ancestors of the Ethiopian race, start being born after Mother Goddess Earth receives her spirit beings. The sun god and goddess, the earth god and goddess, and the moon god and goddess, and her vegetation formulates and grows to maturity. Of the 9 races of gods and goddesses that inhabit the top half of the smart circle of order during the time that the top half exists, the first to be born at and from the source of the Nile River in equatorial Africa was the Hydropygmy. Remember, the original flesh and blood gods and goddesses of planet Earth, who were the first people on orb Earth, had to be sufficiently prepared by nature, spiritually, mentally, and physically, to withstand the great heat and also high humidity of a very young and most powerful atmosphere which existed at birth and beginning of the universes. The Hydropygmy was first an ovoid, as shown on page 67 of this presentation. By the word oval, the writer means shaped like an egg, or elliptical like the elong circles on the right side and left side of the shape 27 on page 61 of this topic. An ovoid is shaped ovally everywhere it is physically practical and for their males and female survival. They grew sunshiny black skin, kinky spiral hair, scale-like skin, fish-like fins, webbed fingers and toes, and fish-like gills, as well as a buoy system. Let it be remembered always and let it be known. Listen to reason. Evidence of the gills and buoy system still remains in human beings, but the tonsils and appendixes of humanoids have no particular function now. To make it clearer, tonsils of humans used to be gills, and appendixes of people used to be a buoy system. The Hydropygmy ranged in heights from 4 to 5 feet, and they were indeed amphibians, able to live on land and in water by nature. Listen to reason. The god pygmies had to be amphibians because, although death cannot exist in the top half of the order circle, the laws of the opposites of nature, including life and death, must be satisfied. Therefore, when the physical person of a god or goddess, because of age and exhaustion, needs rejuvenation, instead of dying physical death like mortal humans, the god or goddess must submerge in the life-giving waters for a period of time, which is simulation of death. And when the revitalization is complete, the god or goddess can resume his or her routine way of life. The time it takes for the god or goddess to reach the state of need of rejuvenation varies like the time of death varies for human beings. However, the average time lived before renewal of life is needed for flesh and blood gods and goddesses was 9,999 years, and the average time submerged in water for rejuvenation was indeed 9 years, generally and scientifically. What holds true for one race of pygmy gods holds true for the others, whenever and wherever feasible and practical. Let it be remembered always and let it be known. I found this article explaining 3 different types of dormancy. Let's check it out. Ask a naturalist, hibernation versus brumation versus estivation. As the weather turns cold, many animals have gone into hibernation to get through the winter. But hibernation isn't the only type of dormancy an animal can experience. And winter isn't the only time of year animals might go to sleep or reduce their activities to survive. The environment that an animal lives in affects their dormancy behavior greatly. Animals might go through hibernation, brumation, or estivation. These terms can be confusing because there are similarities between them all, but there are distinct details that make each process different. Most people are familiar with the term hibernation, a state of dormancy that endotherms or warm-blooded animals do. The body temperature, heart rate, breathing rate, and metabolic rate of the animal slows down during the winter months. This occurs so the animal can conserve energy and survive during the cold months. Animals can hibernate for several days, weeks, or months, depending on the temperature in the area and the individual animal's condition. Rodents such as chipmunks and ground squirrels go through true hibernation. Brumation is known as the hibernation for cold-blooded animals. Ectotherms rely on their environment to regulate their body temperature. Cold temperatures cause reptiles and amphibians to hide underground in rock crevices and in burrows to stay warm and safe. Their activity, body temperatures, heart rate, and respiratory rate drops like in hibernation. Cold-blooded animals will move on warmer winter days and find water, unlike hibernators who are in deep sleep and do not move at all. Estivation is when animals are dormant because weather conditions are very hot and dry. Their breathing rate, heart rate, and metabolic rate decrease to conserve energy under these harsh conditions. These animals will find a spot to stay cool and shaded. Many reptiles and amphibians estivate, and some mollusks, insects, fish, and mammals will estivate as well. Whether it is hibernation, brumation, estivation, or a combination of these processes, animals have an amazing ability to adapt and survive in their different environments. Estivation, prolonged torpor or dormancy of an animal during a hot or dry period. As you can see, the word estivation definitely applies to the pygmy gods. The sun is male and Mother Earth is female. The sun gives off ether in the form of what is called prominences. The sun has antennae called granulation, and Ethiopians' woolly hair looks like that granulation. So our woolly hair may correctly be called granulation, using an English expression. If one puts a straight strand of hair closer and closer to a fire, that strand of hair will granulate, that is, boil up because of the potency of the heat. The Ethiopian carries his and her sun within, and we appeared on planet Earth at a time when no other race could survive in the Earth's atmosphere, because just after creation the atmosphere was too dense and potent for the weakness of human beings called mankind. Mankind is all peoples with straight hair by nature. The Ethiopian became identified with mankind down through evolution. This is the wheel of time and existence. That is, time and the many changes that time produces in matter exist in the circle. Here we have the wheel of time and existence. This is what it looks like. How we determine the right combination of numbers to use on the circle is that the digits must be single and consecutive and must add up to 9. 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 72, and 7 plus 2 equal 9. And the digits must divide the circle into 12 equal parts like the zodiac, because the digits 1 and 2 are left out in order for the circle to add up to 9. The circle must add up to 9 because a perfect circle is 9 by nature. Evolution starts at 6 on the left side of the circle of time and goes counterclockwise through 5 and 4 and ends in 3. 6 pushes the circle down on the left side and 9 pulls it up on the right, as you could determine by this drawing. We see the arrow from 6 west down to 3 south, and the other side is 3 south going upward. 9 Mind Nupu pulls the circle upward from 3 south. Let us move on. In time, we are now at the end of 3 on the circle, and Nupu 9 forces are beginning to pull us Nunibus up by mind in time. The bottom half of the circle of time is 6, the dead, and the top half of the circle is 9, the living. So we are now headed back toward the living in mind, and our physical activities will follow. Now I'm going to go into the degrees and temperatures of the sun, earth, and moon. The sun's degrees from present day 7/15/2022 3 south, 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. 4 ether, 600,000 degrees Fahrenheit. 5 ether, 36 million degrees. 6 ether, 2,160,000,000 degrees. 7 ether, 129,600,000,000 degrees. 8 ether, 7,776,000,000,000 degrees. 9 ether, 466,560,000,000,000 degrees. The Earth's degrees from present day 7/15/2022, 3 south, 57 degrees Celsius. 4 ether, 3,430 degrees. 5 ether, 205,200 degrees. 6 ether, 12,312,000 degrees. 7 ether, 738,720,000 degrees. 8 ether, 44,320,200,000 degrees. 9 ether, 2,659,390,000,000 degrees. 2 plus 6 plus 5 plus 9 plus 3 plus 9 plus 2 plus 6 zeros equal 36. 3 plus 6 is 9. The moon's degrees from present day 7/15/2022, 3 south, 183 degrees Celsius. 4 ether, 10,980 degrees. 5 ether, 658,800 degrees. 6 ether, 39,528,000 degrees. 7 ether, 2,371,680,000 degrees. 8 ether, 142,300,800,000 degrees. 9 ether, 2,659,392,000,000 degrees. The temperatures of the moon, earth, and sun begin from 3 south, revolutionary cycle, to origination cycle. This math circle of order in its entirety adds up to 9. The universe in their entirety of existence is 5,760,000,000 years, or 72 million times 80 terms. Let it be remembered always, and let it be known. My name is Tabu Unuanet, and my name translates to the first black one to be raised in 9 ether waters of noon. True peace, and thanks for watching.